folks, back here at the Outboard Dad channel. We're here to help you have a better boating experience. Today, we got another lower unit to finish up. It was a 70 horse that we started, freshwater motor, really in good condition. We got the seal kit from Pro Marine USA. Still waiting to hear back from Taylor at Pro Marine USA because I want to partner with them. They're just great guys, easy to work with. Cisco just helps me find whether it's him or any of the other guys, but Cisco's the guy I dealt with just recently. Don't forget my used outboard motor buying guides for sale on Amazon. Keep in mind it's $20. It is a grab and go with just the high points you need to hit. Make sure you don't miss. That can cost you thousands if you do miss them, to make sure you have the best educated purchase that you can find. It's not an in-depth guide, it's just the high points that you grab this and go before you go look at an outboard motor. Right now I'm offering a free half-hour session over the phone. It's a $250 value if you send me proof of purchase at keith@outboarddad.com to help you with a motor you're looking to purchase, or maybe a boat with an outboard you're looking to purchase, or a motor that you're working on. Where we left off is we cleaned our lower unit, got it nice and clean, making sure there's no debris in there or anything like that. Got the surfaces clean where our water pump and our shift shaft cover goes, and where our upper and lower seals go inside and out. We took a little emery cloth on those areas. Some of them have some little pits, but nothing major. That's why I like to use my Motorcraft silicone. I'll show you that as well if you haven't seen me do it already. So we'll take this out of here now that we know it's nice and clean. And we'll go ahead and remove these old seals. You can see this one, I'll show you, it's already starting to come out. So if you see, this seal was already kind of protruding out of there. I don't know if somebody maybe tried to. I don't think so. I think it just worked its way out over some time. And the other one here, we're going to pop that out as well. And then of course we have a seal inside this. And there's our seal kit. And there's the rest of our parts, keeping them nice and clean. So just to, I've had this for years. I think it's a Craftsman. I don't know if it's a Craftsman. What's it say on it? It says made in USA. Warning, wear eye protection. Craftsman. Yeah, Craftsman seal puller. Has two sides to it. We want to try and not go in too deep because we don't want to dig a gouge in the side of it. We just want to catch the lip and give it a good pull. Now we're going to hold on to these. We're going to put them aside because we want to, oh, look at this. It has seal all stuck in there. And it looks to me like that got bent when it was put together. So maybe somebody did do these. Maybe they did it without removing the bearing carrier. Now you can do that. That's up to you. I've done it before, sometimes successfully, sometimes not. That's why I like to complete disassemble, especially a lower unit that I'm going to sell. This way I can look at the gears and everything else that are inside, and I can sell it with confidence. So this just needs to be cleaned up now. And of course there is the O-ring here and the bolts. Pretty sure the bolts will come with the new kit with the seals on them, but we'll put them aside just in case we just have to do the seals on it. Depends on how the kit comes. And then we have our O-ring here. Take that out, and then this one's all ready to be cleaned up. Now let's get the other seal out. Now this one, I like to put a little rag in there first, just to protect it a little bit. We're not going to grab it super tight. We're just going to hold it in place so that we can get these seals out. This one has a little more corrosion on it. So this is a single seal. So this one doesn't have a double, which we know this was leaking. So we're going to clean this up really good. Inside looks good. So it is a little corrosion around the outside, but we're going to clean it up really good, and we'll get the new seals in there. All right, taking a look, we got our seals in. This is a single seal for this one, is on the replacement for this model, and a single seal for the top. Now we did have some corrosion on the top, and we did have a little gouge from me pulling the seal out. It was really tough to get the old one out of there, but we did fill that with our famous silicone. That's the Ford Motorcraft silicone that's for diesel engines. So let's start getting this back together. Now we have a nice clean gearbox. We'll just double check to make sure nothing got in there or there's not any problems in there. And I'll take a little brake cleaner and a clean rag, and I'll just clean out where the gasket surfaces meet. I should say the O-rings, because there's an O-ring on that seal that goes in here. I have to get a screwdriver in there because my hand is too big. Make sure it's nice and clean. Yeah. So all our surfaces up top are clean. I'm going to also take a little brake cleaner for where the top bearing carrier goes, where that seals. Make sure that's nice and clean. There are gaskets on here on the bolts. Now they did give us 4 new bolts as well, which is nice. But we want to clean this area as well, make sure it's nice and clean. I did clean off the bearing carrier, but I've been handling it while I was putting, the new seals on and O-rings on, and probably got some oily stuff on there. So, and all this is, this type of diligence is all just making sure that you have the best chance of this working well for many years to come. So what we start with is our gear sets, right? So here's what we have. We're just going to put this right back in the same way it came out. Now I'm going to push this down because that's how we shift to make sure it fits inside there all the way. So we'll get this in first. Obviously we have to get our shift rod connected on here. Let's see what it looks like. And it looks like it went right in. Shift rod, the shifter cover plate, I guess we'll call this, that we put a new seal inside of as well. So we're just going to line this up to make sure it's in all the way, right in the middle. So that's all lined up, so we know that's in properly. Now we're just simply going to go ahead, next, and we're going to slip our drive shaft gear in, but we want to put this drive gear in here and then slide our drive shaft down. All right, so now you can see my gear in place, and now I'm going to drop my drive shaft down onto that gear. All right, try and focus on that. All right, and then we'll see if we can get the nut on. I should look from up top first, make sure I'm lined up pretty close, and I'm not even close. So let me straighten this out a little more into place. Cleaned off the threads on the end of this with some brake cleaner, and now I'm going to put a little thread locker on there, blue thread locker on there. Drive shaft is down. Now you can see that the drive shaft is down. You can see the little blue threads there. Now we'll get our nut. Now I'm going to lift the drive shaft up a little bit. I don't know if I can get the flashlight in there to hold. There we go. So now I'm just going to lift up my drive shaft a little bit, slip my nut in place, push the drive shaft back down, and then we'll give it a couple turns so we can get it started, and then we'll get a wrench on there. Okay, so now you saw how the nut is on the end of the drive shaft. I have my wrench in place. We're going to grab it with my pipe wrench here. Hold my wrench up in the right spot so it doesn't slip like that, and now tighten it up really good. Now we're ready to put the bearing carriers in. We'll start with the top. We clean that so we know that's nice and clean. So let's make sure we have a new O-ring on it. All right, got some silicone around this seal. There was some pitting in there, so I did a little heavier than normal. Make it a little harder to come out next time, but this may be the last time this ever gets rebuilt. There is a slot here in the back that lines up with another hole in the back, so we make sure we remember how it came off, so we put it back on the same way. I do have some white lithium on the shaft here, so it'll slide over nicely. We just got to get our bolts and get the bolts in there and tighten them up. Okay, so I'm just going to use my ratchet rather than the speed ratchet because I want to watch this go down into place. And I'm thinking I have the wrong bolts because they're not threading in. You can see it kind of sit down a little bit. Well, you can't, but I can. It does have some corrosion on this. I was surprised to see that much, but not enough that we couldn't get the seals on there. And we'll find out, hey man, if we pressurize this and it doesn't hold, then it's back to square one, right? That's what we'll have to do when we're done, the pressure test to know for sure. All right, now let's get the prop bearing carrier in there. We'll do that next. So we'll do that prop shaft bearing carrier next because we got to get the gear, the reverse gear or forward gear. I never remember which one's which, front or back, however that works anyway. So we'll go ahead and get that last gear in, get the clips in, get the bolts in, and we'll get this sealed up, and then we'll get our shift shaft in the next episode. So please like, subscribe, send me any comments that you have, and we'll look forward to seeing you out on the water. Have a